Next thing that I want to talk about is confetti and the other animations that come up. But before going to that, we would go to Figma. So I can make you uh, go through the basic steps correctly. So let's just see what happens is we get this. We get one, two, three, four, five, six, not six, more, seven, eight. So we get eight different, let's say, tokens that are star shaped or circular shape, and each of these circle also has six more circles inside of it, and they just pop, they kind of pop, and these stars just simply disappear. So you can see that in this frame it is disappearing, and by the way I have collected each and every frame, so I'm not missing out anything. It is just the uh, thing that they are doing it in Lotte animations and we are going to do it in CSS. That's the only difference. And yeah, the bell is ringing the way that we have it. It is just kind of rotating. So if I suppose that this is the thing that we want in the end result, then I would have to design the SVGs for the star and the circle. By the way, for the ring, for the bell and the chevron, I just use some tool called svgrepo.com. I will be just linking that, so you can just download the bell and the chevron from there. You don't have to draw those on Figma, but these one should be drawn. So let's just see how will we do them, how we'll do that. So I'm on Figma. Don't worry about these bunch of designs I will be talking about. Or let me just talk about it. So the thing that is that I would be making a few talks in the Google developers community, the official community that is available for Google DevRels, and some of the Googlers and some of the DevRels would also be on this show. And I'm actually looking for you. I'm actually looking for someone who is a developer who understand and has well versed knowledge and wants to grow in this field. So it is me and another person who is my mentor would be making a monthly podcast or a monthly meeting channel where we would be talking with our faces, and there would be someone else that I would be looking out from the crowd that can also be available every month, just once, anytime that he's free for the month, and we can have a very good chat with some guest audiences. And this would be official for the Google developers community. I'm also the lead for GDG, so Google Developer Groups, and which is why I wanted, we are just calling it the UX show right now because we didn't get any catchy name other than this, and we might change the name soon. So it could happen that we make a few good talks with the UX show and we end up that this should be the name because we loved it and that's how we started. So anything could happen. But yeah, let's not deviate. So now I have this star, and the thing that we have is a circle and a star, and everything, all the animations, all the star and all the circle would be being made from this. So the thing that is wrong about the star is that our star would only have four sides, and that's it. That's pretty much it. I would be adding a stroke which would be on the outside, and this is the same star that we have, or this is the same kind of effort that the YouTube designers did to get this. And yeah, they just colored it, but that's okay. And for the circle, we have a circle, and this is just the tricky part, that inside the circle we have six more circles, which is how it is reducing the color and how the circles inside can simply burst out while the external circle or while the parent circle is also there. So if you see in this frame, the six circle are apparent, but this one is losing its opacity, and here this circle is apparent and it has lost this opacity to like 20%, but these six circles are in full opacity there. So the only reasonable way I could come up with was that the circle should be inside of it, because both have to be available at the same time, and it is not like this circle is getting a clip path or something like this into this six circles, which would also have been very good or very creative to think about. So yeah, this is my, and this is my SVG, and these are the SVGs that I exported into my code pen. I already have them, so I will just uncomment and show you that how I've done it. Oh, long bunch of code. Should I be afraid? No. So I will just actually make it so simple for you to understand, or so basic that it doesn't scare you anymore. So I will just, firstly I will just minimize them. Yeah, okay. So I have some called star and some are called ball. So I will just remove the balls right now. The ones that I have are called star. I will just unfold one of them. Don't be afraid. It is not that kind of scary. It says that I have a star kind of path that has four sides. The one that you saw, 4 points. And the width is 49, the height is 49. I have another star where the width is 30, the height is 30. So I'm just playing with the sizes here. I'm just playing it in the HTML itself. And here it is 75. And like this I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 stars and I have 3 balls, which is okay. So I'm just trying to, I will just try to animate the stars first. For that they are inside confetti, so anything which is inside button have to be positioned absolute so it can just go anywhere it wants to. So I have this confetti parent class. I will be just making it 100% of its parent, which is the button to which it is relative, and it should be displayed block and it should have the position of absolute. That's what we did. And now I will be just taking each star into consideration. And right now you can see these stars are there but they look so bad, and let's just try to make them better. So I will be uncommenting all these 6 stars here. The thing that I have done is that it is scaling into a smaller size and it is positioned from the top and the left, which is in your CSS logical values instead of CSS physical properties. So we have this inset inline start, which is nothing but your left, and we have inset block start, which is nothing but your top. So I'm saying that give it a transform origin and give it some kind of a top and left start, so and give it an animation delay so that all of your stars don't animate at the same time, because I'm going to use the same CSS animation keyframes to all of them with a different delay. That's the key to get the animation with a kind of like some animations happen first, some animation happen later. And you saw that each of the stars and the balls also changed their colors. So not only did the balls popped into six, and not only did the star disappeared by changing their opacity, but also they started off with a pinkish color and then they changed to red. So we have to take all of that into consideration to make the animation wonderful replica, or something like better than the original. So now we have all of them positioned. Let's see how it looks. So now we have them. We have our stars. We have 6 of them at different places, but they are not animating. The way I'm going to animate it, I'm going to use the same logic that I did for my bell and my chevron. I did the transform origin so it scales in the right way, and I'm going to scale them just so that they look like they're moving out. Because in the gif that you saw for the subscribe button that I screencasted, it was showing that they were increasing in size and they were like moving out. So for the moving out part, I have just said that for, let's just say for this star, it should be transform origin to a way that the anchor is at the bottom center, so that when it moves out it looks like it is moving upward. The scaling effect is happening to the upper part, or it is scaling totally, but the scale behavior is in a way that this is the baseline, it feels like it is moving up. So if I were to show you so that you get a better picture, is that I have something like a confetti star which with a sparkle class, and I think the sparkle is the class that would do the job for me. So the sparkle class says that scale it from 0 to 0.2 to 0.7, and the opacity should be 1, so it should be completely visible. But at the very last frame just make it invisible, because we saw that they got the animation to scaling, but the disappearance was quite instant. So that this is also why my code has this disappearance which is quite instant. And the color change is saying that okay, my colors were changing, and the colors were changing because of this glitter. So we had the color change on the button. Oh, it looks so good. We had the color, but we are not seeing the color changes. Why? Because I have yet not coded those, or we are yet to get those in line. So first I will get the properties ready for that. The initial color would be the hot pink color that we had. So I think we are very close to getting it right. And we would just enable the keyframes for the color change. So now I'm going to have the color change for my stars, and I'm going to uncomment that part out. Let's not worry about the ball animation. And they are sparkling, they are making a color change. The color change is saying that give me a hot pink color, change it to red, and just keep it red. So this is like, I'll just name red. No, this is hot pink actually. And I do not know that if are you able to see colors when you see this? Because I know some designers who will just see this and say, oh, this is pink, right? And that's kind of a really good thing, because you can just read the code. You are very great at knowing your color. Some even just see the font and just know, yeah, this is Adele, right? So this is very good. Yeah, so all of them are changing from pink to red. This is the way that I wanted it. Good, let's keep going. And now I'm going to just show it one more time. All of the stars are making the appearance from pink to red, which is really good. Now the only thing that remains, and we have just one last thing, then we are going to wind this up. And I would say that the last thing is to get the ball with the same sparkle animation. The sparkle is nothing but we are just changing or scaling up the size, so it looks like it is glittering towards the out region. And then we have this color change, so it changes the color. We already have this available. Now for all the confetti balls, so we have three of them, just three of them. I'm going to position them again from the absolute. I could have just used a single class. I'm just rewriting a bunch of code here, which is okay, not too much of a worry. And now I have all the balls also ready, and let's just see how it looks. Good. That was good. I saw that this was not popping into or bursting into different colors, but so far so good. So we have just one last thing left. And if are you able to guess what's the last thing? And I think you would be, because the very last thing is, if I go back to this, so here, between these two frames we get the whole picture. What we have to do, we have to kind of burst the bubble, and the bursting effect for the bubble would be, or the bursting effect for this ball would be this burst effect. So what I have is that I'm saying that and let's just understand it. So I will just open this svg. It has a rect, which is the biggest rect, which is the single big ball that it has, and a few smaller rects that are representing all the six small balls that are within the bigger ball. So that's the whole code here. So what I am doing is I'm saying that if your nth of type is 1, then you should disappear. So if you are the first one here, the first bigger rect tag, then you should disappear. And that's the thing. So let's just see if it works. Let's just go for it. So I will be, and yeah, it is disappearing, but the inner circle, the smaller uh, svgs that are available, the rect tags, still do not burst out. So for that I will be just making a scale 1.1 from 1. So it is like from 1 to 1.1. Give me a burst animation, just go towards the outside. And we are done. We have successfully made our very own animation with the help of a confetti, with a chevron, with a text, with a bell, and it looks like this. Amazing. Very amazing. So yeah, that is all. I would be just linking the code pen in the description. I have a few very great announcements to make. The very first one being that I would be going to Mountain View, California to Google at the Google I/O. I might be getting some volunteer speaking opportunities. I might be. That's a big, fingers crossed. The last time I was there, I ended up with 4 speaking opportunities, though I started off with just one, but that led me to a few more. This time I would be there, and I might be making some very great recordings towards the announcement that happens, and that would be a very fantastic thing. A few more things that I would want you, and this is something that I have seen, and I would be just making another video of it, is that many people are just using lead code for the sake of getting very good ranks to get these competitive things done, but they don't really understand the code. And that's a very big problem. That's a very big no no from my side. So if you are, then you would never be able to understand the real use cases. And this is where I want to give you a very real example of a thing that you might need at this point. You may have seen that many of the problems require you to have a very good depth first search knowledge and a very good dynamic programming knowledge, and some of them require you to make some polyfills. If you were to just copy the solutions and just to get a better rank or just to get better in the competition, then I would say that you would land nowhere, because you would actually have to understand how it works. And for that, I would show you a very real use case. So Thomas Steiner works at Google, and I work in the Google open source community. So he actually made something called the cross origin storage. This is a new web API that is going to come, similar to how you used to make your polyfills for, let's say, some debounce, throttle, set timeout, set interval, promises, even JSON or Stringify. So this is a real use case, a real coding challenge where you have to think out loud, do some user experience, do some thorough analysis, do some thorough end user experience researches, and then you have to code your polyfills. And some of the pull requests were done by me. A very good one I would be showcasing here would be this one, where I worked on some of the code fixes. So the very thing that I wanted to make you understand is that how would you code these real polyfills or these real examples when they come into picture. This one allows you to access storage to different websites, where different websites can use the same AI model, and they can just share these storages, which was not previously available, and everyone have to download their own AI models and consume a lot of data and redundancy in downloads and redundancy in files, which was bad. So this was a solution that we come up with, that Thomas come up with, and I was able to do some very good solutions in coding, in designing phases, in making these wireframes correct, the wireframes, and also making the exact looking pop-ups or prompts which were earlier not exactly replicating the way that we wanted it to replicate, and which were not cross browser compatible. So there was one thing was the designing part which I looked after, but the other thing is the polyfills part. And this is where, if you are a software engineer, and even if you are a UXC like me, then if you are just seeing the patterns and just learning or just rot learning them, and you, when a real case comes up, you are just maybe using someone else's solution, so you never actually develop the thorough knowledge to brainstorm and make up your own new solution which was never available before, then it might not just work for you. And this is bad. This is also where I would be in the future, I would be making a few question answers, or making a few problem solvings on very hard code, very hard DSA problems, or some of the polyfills problem, or some of the just front end JavaScript questions that get asked a lot in front end interviews. Because so far I have done a lot of UI things, but I saw that there is a real potential here where many developers can learn from what I have uh, sort of understood from a very core basics, being a nerd for all these APIs and learning JavaScript from the very scratch and working with the creators of these languages, to be honest. So I would be wanting to just go or and make you understand the field, make you understand the core thing that is in front of you, but you're not able to see, so you are just rot learning it. That's the thing, that if you will be able to see that it is like a repeated thing that occurs, and if a real problem arises, you would be able to think in a way that I would want you to. So that would be very good. So yeah, that's about the thing, and that was about the cross origin storage explainer. I have one more thing, was the GDG talk. I think I've already told this. If you feel that you are a good fit, and if you feel you are the right candidate who could speak and ask questions to the Google communities who would be very happy to take on some of the very good conferences every month and would want to make a name for himself, then just step up in the comments. I would also be posting this to my LinkedIn and some other ways that I have. And soon we will have a very good UXO in the Google developers community, in the official Google developers community. And I think that was it. I wanted to just talk about how you can make polyfills. I would be making some videos, and the GitHub hoodie that I told you about, the one that I'm wearing, that was really good because I would also want you to see the ambient light sensor example. It is a very good case of showing your coding knowledge as well as your design knowledge together. And that was all about it. That was all the announcement that I had to make. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you love these subscribe thing that is here. So yeah, just play with it. I would want you to go to the code pen and just try to hit the subscribe button there and enjoy it. Thanks a lot. Have a very great day ahead.